Hey, what's up? Welcome to my channel. My name is Inspired Designer, and in this video, I'm going to be guiding us on how to master or create cinematic lighting in our AI models with prompts. So you don't have to be thinking, oh yeah, I need Photoshop to paint this light. I need other software to actually paint the light. It's actually very easy. AI have made our work easier as a designer. And before the AI used to paint lights on my models, but since the invention of AI, with image effects and ChatGPT, I've stopped doing that, and I feel like I have to share how I do paint light on my models easily within seconds. It's not going to take your time, it's not going to stress you. So, for the purpose of this tutorial, the two AI software that I do use most of the times is ChatGPT or Google Gemini. Sorry, Google Gemini. So, you can go to your ChatGPT, and you go to ChatGPT, just type chatgpt.com, and it's going to load ChatGPT for you. You can actually download the software on your mobile phone to your App Store or Play Store. You can also try out Google gemini.google.com. Then it's going to load it here. You can actually, it works the same way with ChatGPT, but I actually use ChatGPT most of the time. So without further ado, let's dive into the main stuff. So the first thing you have to understand, and the first way I do things, because I used to think of the images in my head, and this is the way I actually think about it. Now, some people looking at how do you think about images in your head? Most of the time they are from my daily life experience. Maybe when I go to somewhere and I look at the way this guy, look at how he actually interacted with the, maybe with the seller or with the brand. I'm going to keep that in my brain. But most of the times I need something to actually trigger the way I actually think, trigger my thoughts, because I cannot just put lights or put some kind of elements in random design. So that's why most of the times before I even start generating my images, I do make sure I use Pinterest or Behance to actually load in. So I can just go back to Pinterest, and let's say example now I want to design for a food brand. So the first thing I usually do is I'm just going to go to my search for, I'm going to search for food models photography, so that I will have idea of what I'm trying to generate. So once I search for food models, it's going to give me an idea of what I am about to generate. Now we can see that we have a lot of models there, and I'm just going to be looking at them to keep to steal a lot, like steal some kind of details from them, maybe their expression, the way they dress, and their hairstyle. I'm going to write down those stuff. So we can see that for this image, for example, look at the camera angle, look at the way he display the product. Example, now maybe there's a product now that I want to display, maybe I want to promote. I can use this style for it. I can just, okay, someone that is holding like a product to the, that is bringing a product near to the camera, stuff like that. You can see this image right here. We can see this one. You can see a lot of images. So I used to study a lot of images first before I even start my design. I will look at the camera angle, look at the expression, look at the mode, the lighting, and a lot of stuff before I even start my design. Because without that, I will just be creating a lot of generic stuff. So for this tutorial sake, I'm going to be using this image for an example. So looking at this image alone, we can see that, okay, this image right here, we have this first image, it looks like a earthworm view, and we have this one right here which actually looks like a eagle eye view. So for those wondering how do I know the names of it, you can actually go to your Pinterest here too and search for camera angles. You can search for camera angles. Let me open my camera and search for camera angles. You can go to your search and search for camera angles, and we can see that we have different kinds of camera angles right here. We see that we can see that we have the high angle, we have the medium shot, the low angle shot, new level shot, and few 15 more. You can see that shoulder level shot. So most of the times if you see a shot, you can just go online and search for a low, like look at the shot, different kind of shots here. But in this video, I'm going to explain how to even, if in case you don't even know the name of the camera angles, how to extract it from the picture. So for example, I'm going to act like I don't even know this camera angle at all. So let me look for a very crazy camera angle that I can use here to actually portray, like talk about the product. So let me look at this camera angle right here. Where is this camera angle? Should I use this camera angle? Let me go back to get a kind of complex camera angle to actually use for this tutorial, the one that I've never even used before. Let me look for a crazy camera angle to use. Let me look for a crazy shot to actually use. Now I'm going to download the image. So after downloading the image, I'm going to load in my ChatGPT and in my ChatGPT. So now we want to you want to know the camera angle of this image. You want to act as if you don't even know the camera angle and you want to use that kind of camera angle. So I'm just going to add the image into ChatGPT, and I'm going to say ChatGPT, extract, can you identify? We know that it can identify, but the way I chat my ChatGPT, I chat with ChatGPT like a friend. You have to be free with your ChatGPT. Don't display your private information to ChatGPT, but chat with ChatGPT like your mentor, like your coach, and you will see that it's going to give you very good results. So I say, can you identify the two camera angles, 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 angles in this shot, So I told you, can you identify the two camera angles in this shot? And then I'm going to wait for ChatGPT. You say yes, the two camera angles are, the left there on yellow is a call low angle, that is one eye view, and the camera is positioned below are looking upward. This makes the U-got cup look larger and gives the subject a sense of dominance and fun energy. Now the right angle is called the slight top-down perspective. The camera is positioned toward him, tilted down. Now looking at this camera angle, now you have actually looked at ChatGPT, and ChatGPT have actually assigned each angle to a variable. I'm very sorry. Let me say you have actually assigned each angle to a value. That's this one eye view is number one, and this right image is actually the number two. So now let's go into the main thing, the essence of actually create this tutorial. Now I want to use this camera angle. Now this camera angle is actually an extra bonus because this video I just want to explain how to create light, but I want to also make you understand that okay, this is how I come up with my images. I have to go to Pinterest to search for crazy. Sometimes I even go to Behance. You can go to Behance and search for Behance and get a lot of crazy camera angles there, which you can actually extract the camera angles that you want to use for your design. So the next thing to do is that now I'm not going to say that okay, now this is why I generate my prompt. Now I need like now because I want to generate the image of this now of let me say that I want to generate the earthworm view of someone that is holding, which kind of local product do we have in Nigeria? Let's just say that is holding yes, a roasted corn. So let me say that a well detailed, now this is the prompt, now I'm going to tell ChatGPT that okay, I need a well detailed prompt to generate the image of a black lady sitting on a black sofa chair holding a roasted corn. It's not holding, no, on a sofa chair holding a roasted corn Now let's indicate the background. We want the background. So most of the times if I'm designing on a white background, I will tell ChatGPT to actually make the background minimal white. But if I'm designing on a dark background, I will tell ChatGPT to make it a minimal black. But most of the times if I'm actually painting lights on my design, I will make sure that the background is a minimal black, because so that the light is going to have a very high contrast with the background. So that the image is going to have, like the model is going to have a very high contrast with the background. So I'm going to say the background should be minimal white, should be minimal black, and there should be and should there should be a purple cinematic. Let me use that is a purple. Let me say yellow. Let me say yellow cinematic rim lighting on the subject. So that's the lady chair and on. So this reason is that I'm actually specifying the subject that I want the light to be on. I want the subject to be on the subject that is the foreground, this lady, the chair, and corn. So now you say a well-detailed prompt to generate the image of a black lady sitting. Now, most of the times you have to specify your camera angle. You can say that okay, the camera angle should be a low, but most of the time I don't used to put my journal to generate. Now most of the times I don't used to put, but you can actually do it this way. But the way I used to do my own is that I'm not going to create a well-detailed prompt to generate the image of a now I'm not going to say the low, like let's say like the warm eye view let's say warm eye camera view image of a black lady. Then I'm going to give ChatGPT this prompt. Then let's see what it's going to generate. Now we know that we have actually extracted the front. We have actually extracted the camera angles here, and since we are using this one right here, we are using this camera angle. And no, we are not making it pose like this. We are using the camera angle. We are not making our model pose like this, but we want it to actually sit on a model black chair. If you want it to pose like this, we are going to write the pose. Like you want it to be standing, you want it to be sitting, but no, we want to be leaning on a wall, but no, we don't want that. We want it to be sitting on a black sofa chair. So I'm now going to generate the prompt. I'm now going to click on enter for the prompt to actually generate. Then we can see that it's going to give us the cinematic warm eye camera view of a black beautiful lady sitting elegantly on a black sofa chair. She is holding a roasted corn in her hand with a natural relaxed pose. Because now this is the pose that we told ChatGPT. She's sitting on in a relaxed pose. She's not sitting on the wall. She's not leaning on the wall. She's not standing. Then we can see that the background is minimal solid black, creating a clean stage-like atmosphere. Add dramatic cinematic rim lighting that aligns the subject, the chair, and the roasted corn, giving them a glowing edge and a striking contrast against the dark background. The lighting should feel moody, professional, cinematic with strong highlights. You can still go as far as defining your the kind of lighting, like the kind of mode you want. Do you want it to have this vintage mode? Do you want it to have, it depends. You can actually, most beautiful videos will be out in the future where I'm going to describe everything. Now I'm going to copy this prompt and I'm going to load my Wiz or ChatGPT. Then I'm going to load Wiz. Most of the time I do use Wiz because Wiz give me creative freedom. Wiz give me a lot of creative freedom. I can do anything I want to do on Wiz, unlike ChatGPT. So this is one I load Wiz. I'm going to paste my prompt there, and you can see that we have our images here. If your one is not showing mobile portraits or mobile landscape, you can go here and you can off your precise reference. You can off it. But if it's not showing, but if it's showing, just leave it. You have to off it. Once you off it, it's going to be showing this mobile landscape and mobile portrait. So for this tutorial sake, sometimes it depends on the kind of flyer you are doing. If it's normal flyer, most of the time I used to use mobile landscape. Mobile landscape is usually okay for me. Then we can see that we have the subject, we have the thing, and I'm going to explain this. But first, before explaining that, let me generate the subject. Let me generate the image here. So we can see that the image is actually loading, and we can see that first ChatGPT didn't give us what to actually want. Look at what it gave us here. ChatGPT sometimes is actually mad. It's going to give you rubbish. Some of the times it's going to give you what you want. So you can see the image it actually give us here now. This is a warm eye view of someone sitting down. Let me generate more. there's a problem with the prompt, and the problem is that it's like now it's giving them a glowing edge. The problem is that it's giving them a glowing edge. It gives them rim lighting. Let me remove this stuff here. Let me remove that glowing edge. It's that glowing edge that is making the light be on the edge. That's not actually what you actually want. We can see that the lighting is now painted properly. Sometimes it's going to give us what we don't want, and sometimes it's going to give us what we actually want. So you keep generating images to actually get the one that you feel like is actually okay. You can see the lighting that is painted on this stuff now. So rim lighting and this outline, rim lighting. Now, if you feel like there's something wrong, you can, if sometimes if you generate your prompt, Wiz is going to misinterpret it. And looking at this word outline, I feel like that's why it's actually making this stuff out for this kind of outline. So I feel like it's better to move the outline. So it's better to on the foreground on the subject. So I'm going to edit it on the subject. So let's see what it's going to give us. Sometimes when you check your prompt, you actually see what's actually generating. So we can see that now we thought I add the dramatic yellow thematic lighting on the subject, means striking. So the lighting should be full mood, professional, cinematic. So my network is super bad. So we can actually see that we actually generated the images right here. So that's just to tell you about the camera angles. So let's actually go to this. We can actually copy. So the thing is that we can actually copy the same prompt and we can paste it on Google Gemini to actually see what it's going to give us. So I'm going to copy the same prompt and post it on Google Gemini to see what it's going to actually give us. So you can see this is the image Google Gemini generated, and it's actually looking nice. So that's it. You can actually use this to, let me open this so that we can actually see what we are going to generate. Let me open image effects, sorry, image effects. So let me load image effects and let's test the prompt on image effects and let's see what it's going to actually give us. So I'm going to open image effects and I'm going to paste the prompt. So let's see what image effects is going to give us. And so I told you that sometimes, but you have to refine your prompts yourself. If you feel like there's something wrong and you see that maybe like on this prompt now, you can see that it's showing outlined at first, and then when we actually went through the prompt, we see that there's something outlined. We have to clear all this stuff and reconstruct the prompt so that it's going to stand out. It's not going to look like the other one. So most of the times you can even remove this rim lighting. If you remove this rim lighting, it's still going to generate what you actually want. You can actually add the dramatic yellow lighting on the lady. You can even say instead of on this subject now, you can say on the lady too. So that the ChatGPT, like the what the AI software will be able to understand it more easier. When it's now add dramatic yellow light thematic on the lady, you can see that image effects is going to give you a better prompt. So everything is just about redefining your prompt, because when you copy your prompt at first, it might not give you what you actually want, but by reconstructing it, by refining it yourself, then we can now see that we have this yellow lighting on the lady, like so. So this is how I actually generate my image. So let's talk about the let's talk about another last one now. Now, how to generate the image. Now, let's say that okay, a prompt generate generate a prompt generate generate the prompt the prompt the prompt of a man in suit. So I want the prompt like most of the flyers that I used to do, where you are maybe you want to do this type of flyers. I'm coming. Let me open my Photoshop. Maybe you want to do this type of flyers. This type of Let me check this one. Is it this type of flyers? Maybe you want to do this type. You can see this is the one I actually talk about now. Painting this kind of lighting on subjects. But there are times where you want to do this kind of flyers, and you need the picture where you need a picture. Let's say example, you want to do this kind of flyer now. I need a picture of this lighting now. You want to do this kind of lighting now. This is actually how you do it. First things, I prompt to generate the image of a man in suit holding iPhone. I know. Let's now in blue suit. Maybe the brand color is actually blue suit. In blue suit and in deep blue suit, in deep blue suit and cap holding iPhone. Maybe the brand is actually brand that is selling iPhone, and MacBook with his two ends, smiling, of a black man, of a smiling. Let's say okay, of a smiling happy, of a smiling happy with his two hands. Now let's say the background should be minimal black. It should be minimal black, and there should be lighting black, and should be lighting, and there should be blue lighting, blue lighting, cast blue lighting, blue cinematic light, blue cinematic, blue cinematic lighting on demand. So on demand, there should be blue cinematic lighting on demand. So let's generate this prompt. Generate the front view of a spine. So let's generate this prompt now. Now I'm going to say now generate the prompt. Let's see what it's going to give us. Network 7 sharp. So we are just going to copy this prompt and let's paste it on this, and I'm going to load it. So we can see that this is how I actually generate the lighting on the character. Like on this kind of flyers now, you can see that that's how we generate like all this front facing view. So you have to specify that you want the front view portrait, then we can actually download this prompt and can download this image now. And let's even test it. You can test the same prompt on image effects, and you can test it on Google Gemini, and you can see the results it's going to give you. So we can see that, look at the same things actually giving us here. So that's how you actually paint your light. So on our next video, I'm going to be explaining more on camera angles, and if you have any other question you have to ask me, you can actually ask me in the comment section. And if you have a very complicated question, or you want to join my WhatsApp group, I've actually posted the info on my X account, so you should check my X account to join my Creative Cloud Plus group. Thank you very much.